Welcome back to episode 7 of the Nosebleeds Sports Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Zach, and I'm joined by Brady and Vince. Fellas, how we doing today?
You know what, man? It's even though it's hot as balls outside, I cannot complain. It's been a good day today.
Yeah, it's pretty hot out, cannot lie. So otherwise it's a good day.
So if you guys are a first-time listener, we are all from the Cincinnati area right now, and it probably hit 95 degrees today where we are at. So it was a brutal hot one. I know me and Brady work outside all day cutting grass, and I was sweating bullets all day.
You know
It was
what the
terrible.
best part about this is that it's only going to get hotter as the week goes on.
Oh, I know. Wednesday's
I'm not
supposed to
looking
be.
forward to it.
Wednesday and Thursday is going to be like 97, I think.
You're lying.
I'm not lying. I wish I was, but I'm not. I looked at it today.
I might be sick that day to go to work. So, but man, we got an action-packed episode today. A lot of NBA news, man. A lot of NBA news. LeBron and Anthony Davis, Warriors. Ja Morant is a trailblazer. We got a lot to discuss. We also got some FIFA World Cup led by our man Vince.
FIFA.
We're also going to talk about NCAA 5-for-5 rule passing. We got some hot takes, NBA draft to talk about. So you guys ready to get into this?
I'm ready as can be, man.
Let's get into it with ice-breaking questions of the week. My first question for you guys is, would you rather hit a walk-off home run or make a game-winning buzzer beater in basketball?
I'm gonna have to say a walk-off home run, dude. I just feel like, especially if you're in a packed environment, like a playoff game, I'd be watching those clips and I'm genuinely amazed. Like it's insane. Like those Phillies ones, you got the Cleveland ones. Like, dude, I don't understand, but they are amazing. So,
dude, the Cleveland ones. I'm doing walk-off home run too. Night game, you got the lights shining on you. It's bottom of the ninth, you're down like 1 or 2. You just hit that walk-off homer.
mm-hmm.
That it's hella aura. Vince, what about you?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Brady. It's the walk-off home run. Just there's that suspense too of very much knowing if, is it going to be a home run again? There's also that suspense of basketball, but like in the home run, there's a lot more like hype and aura, especially like within the playoffs. We've seen, I think of one home run, especially. I'm old. I'm not that old, but I sound old. But there's a walk-off with the Marlins over the Cleveland baseball, the now Guardians, the 1997 World Series. Just imagine walking it off in Game 7 of the World Series, hitting a home run.
Yeah,
man, it's just I'd much rather have a walk-off home run.
There's just something about a walk-off home run, and then you see people make the
Mm-hmm.
Moneyball edits after, like the music.
Then you get the fireworks in the background too.
Oh, it's awesome.
The whole team come out to celebrate. I don't know. It's
awesome.
Just different.
Hey, don't let that that's awesome, but a buzzer beater is insanely still up there with that. So,
oh yeah, no.
Great question. We got question number 2. If you could have dinner with one athlete, past or present, who would it be and why?
I'm gonna pick LeBron James to
go. We already knew that. We knew that answer was coming. So, we knew that answer.
There's
no question you would ask him.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I haven't really thought about it. I think I'd be too shocked to even say anything, to be honest. I would be so much awe that this.
So you wouldn't even have a conversation with him. You'd just be looking at him like, oh my God.
I don't know. Maybe I'll start drooling. I don't know, but I'll probably try to start a conversation, of course, man. But hey.
LeBron James.
Yeah,
what about you?
Okay, I'm going a little different here, and I'm going someone in the past. Someone kind of I know, like my parents and kind of I looked up to, Pete Rose.
Dude, there's no way. I literally said Pete Rose too. That's crazy.
Pete Rose didn't.
Here's the thing.
That's crazy. Go ahead.
Past all the controversy with him aside, I'd want to talk about him, about his game. And also, too, I would very much be interested to see his viewpoints on what he thinks about the current state of baseball right now. Mm-hmm. And also just some of the other things that's also happened in baseball. And just to learn from him, to learn from the best.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
So I also said Pete Rose. I don't know why Vince is stealing my answer, but it's no problem. Yeah, what Vince said, I'm going to piggyback off that, but I also want to know about the behind the scenes aspect of Pete Rose and then the betting scandal. And I also I think his coaching era, I think I would really want to know that more than his actually playing era. So I think honestly, man, you have a great conversation with Pete Rose. I think you get a lot of it. I've already heard some crazy stories about Pete Rose. But yeah, that would be one heck of a dinner. And I was also thinking, I was arguing against Pete Rose and Bob Knight. I think Bob Knight would just be an amazing conversation. Like my dad's always looked up to Bob Knight and hearing the stories about him, watching videos and him throwing the chair across the court when he was coaching at Indiana. Like
that was an iconic moment.
To just pick his mind off his philosophy of basketball, man, that'd be one heck of a dinner for me. So Bob Knight or Pete Rose, man, that's it for me. But you guys ready, man? We had a little NBA draft happen last week.
Let's get it.
Fellas, this first round of the NBA draft was literally just nuts. What was your guys' little takeaways from the draft when you guys were watching it?
Vince?
I feel like from watching it, I feel like every team kind of got something that kind of helped them. I feel like you sometimes see that more than other drafts than others. I feel like this one more especially. Overall, this is a good draft, and I think this is going to be a draft. This is also a very stacked draft class, and this is going to be very interesting to see how it goes when.
My argument for Darian Peterson going number 1 did not work out. Okay, AJ DeBantis went number 1. Hey, great pick. I think he's going to be a great player, but I'm going to read off the top 10 picks real quick. AJ DeBantis went 1 to the Wizards. Darian Peterson went number 2 to the Jazz. Cameron Boozer went number 3 with the Grizzlies. Caleb Wilson went number 4 to the Bulls. That underrated pick. Number 5, Keaton Wagler went to the Clippers. Number 6, Mikael Brown went to the Nets. And our guy, Darius Acuff Jr., went number 7 to the Kings. I cannot believe he went all the way to 7th. That's insane.
Yeah, that surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta Hawks chose Kingston Flemings with the 8th pick. Morez Johnson Jr., number 9. That was a shocker. I didn't think he was going to be the first.
I didn't expect that, but
I didn't think he was going to be the first Michigan player off the board, but that's crazy. And at number 10, Braden Burries went to Milwaukee. Fellas, I was looking at the draft and looking at everybody overall, and I think, honestly, man, I think the Atlanta Hawks had the best draft out of anybody in the NBA. They drafted Kingston Flemings with the number 1 pick. He was arguably one of the best guards in college basketball to start the season. Conference play roll around, he was still one of the best, but his game didn't stick up to the standards he usually was, but he's a great defender, and the offense is going to come to him. They also picked Zuby Zabel. God, I can't say his name right. Ejiofor from St. John's, the big man. That guy is a unit. He's physical. He's very versatile for his size. He was a Big East Player of the Year. He brings that certain level of toughness and rebounding and inside scoring for the Hawks, which they need. And they chose the big man out of North Carolina. He dropped to number 52, Vessador. 7-footer. He could stretch the floor. I think he was supposed to go first round, but he dropped really, really late. I don't know why, but Atlanta Hawks, guys, they just really sticked out for me watching the draft. What about you guys? Is there a team that just sticked out for overall?
I would honestly say Grizzlies or Bucks, kind of. I know the Grizzlies,
Bucks.
For the Bucks, for me, it was really I like Braden Burries going, and then also with Nate Ament getting both of them. I think that will be good, especially for the future. Let's see how Nate Ament plays out. I'm not really sure how he will transfer to the NBA level, but
he has a lot of developing left to do. Yeah.
Yes, a lot of developing, but I think the Bucks are pretty solid with that. And then for the Grizzlies, I think Cameron Boozer and Karim Lopez.
Yeah,
both are solid. I think Karim Lopez and Cameron Boozer was honestly like a great, one of the best draft hauls, I feel like, in the draft. I don't know, but I like the Bucks and the Grizzlies, and obviously you could say the Wizards with AJ, or you could say the Jazz with Darren, but like I'll just be different here and pick them.
Dude, just looking at everything, like I don't think a team had a bad pick in the first round at all. Like
No.
everything just makes sense to me when I'm looking at the picks right now. Vince, what about you, man? Is there a team that sticked out to you?
I would say also Memphis, and then I also Chicago. I think really sticked out to me. I think they made a solid pick with that Caleb Wilson pick from UNC. Just again, I think Bills and Grizzlies. I think were those two that stuck out to me.
That's hey man. And my favorite draft pick of the night has to be Darius Acuff Jr. I cannot believe he fell outside the top 5. I mean, the Nets passed on him, the Clippers passed on him. The Bulls, understandable. Caleb Wilson was a top 5 talent. But Darius Acuff, like, when it's all said and done in like 2 years, we might look at him saying, hey, that's the best player in this draft. Like, I don't think that's crazy to say. But what about you guys? You got any favorite draft picks of the night?
No, not really. I
I think all of them were really solid.
Yeah, a lot of them are really good. So,
and then going back on Cameron Boozer, I mean, we talked about him last week. Like, he's also a guy that we can look at and be like, man, like, he could change the franchise around because Ja got traded like today. We'll talk about that later on the episode. But
player.
Boozer, and then you got Zach Edey over there too. So Boozer and Edey, I think Boozer's going to help out Edey a lot tremendously. But man, I don't know. The Kings drafting Darius Acuff, that just sticks out to me because I think that's a guy that could just change the Kings franchise, which the Kings do need changing. I mean, they need a leader. They need a guy to be their franchise guy. And I think Darius Acuff can be that guy for the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, I agree too.
Yeah.
Any draft surprises for you guys? Anyone that went too low? Anyone that went too high? What are we thinking?
I feel like we already talked on, to be honest, with Rez Johnson. I get it with, Dusty May or that little reunion that they had, but I don't like it. I get you're trying to get a former player, but
yeah,
they passed up on people I feel like with higher upside. I'm not a fan of it.
Braden Burries went the pick after. You had Yaxel Lindenberg, who was on that Michigan team. Like, I'm surprised he didn't go to the Mavericks.
Yeah,
Swain was there.
With Yaxel, though, isn't he 24?
He's old, but he's good. Like, I just don't.
I don't know. I just feel like I'm drafting somebody for a franchise. I'm not picking somebody that's 24. You know what I mean? Or 23.
No, I get that. That. Vince, what about you, man? Any shockers when watching the draft?
I kind of think, again, I agree with like kind of what the Mavericks did and what Brady said. I mean, again, you had more up talent with that pick. And then, of course, just you're picking a former player, man. And we kind of expected that for Dusty May because he was just hired like the day before, I think, 2 days before.
Yeah.
He was hired that Monday. The draft was Tuesday. Really,
you're not work to do.
Right. You had a lot of work to do in 24 hours. And again, you're not really thinking into that mindset of who to pick. And I will give him the slack for that. But again, there was just more upsides with that pick that you could have taken.
Yeah. And this is also a draft when I'm looking at it, like the second round, like there were so many steals in the second round. Like I think we're going to see multiple stars come out of that second round. And one of those people, I think, is Baba Miller. I know I talked about him last episode. He went 36, I believe, to the LA Clippers. I think that's a tremendous fit for Baba.
I think somebody else the Clippers got that was kind of a shock to me too was Keaton Wagler. I mean, obviously he's a great player, but I didn't expect him to go up to the 5 spot. I thought he would go a little bit
I think with Wagler, his floor is very, very high.
Yeah.
But the ceiling might be – I don't know. That's how like a lot of these guys, like Kingston Flemings is such a – I think defense is number one for him, and that offense has to develop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the Clippers did have a very good draft, in my opinion, with adding Baba in that second round. Like I discussed, I mean, I think Baba is the hidden gem in this draft. And I think with the Clippers who need size, I think he's really going to help out that organization. But that's a little draft, man. Anything else, guys, you want to hit on the draft?
I think we covered it
pretty well.
Insane draft, insane first and second round. There's just so much talent across the board. But let's get a little World Cup talk. World Cup's been going on. Vince, take it away.
Yeah, so I've been paying attention a lot to the World Cup. Got a couple points I really want to focus on here. First, I think was mainly with the Team USA's performance. Winning Group D is incredible. I think the U.S., that was big, getting big wins. I think 4-1 or 4-2 over Paraguay, and then that 2-0 win over Australia. Again, a Paraguay squad that's really good. It's competed with like some of the top countries in the world with Brazil and Paraguay, and who also just beat Germany in the round of 32 in penalties. That was a crazy upset that I don't think a lot of people saw coming. And I think both of you can agree with that. I know you don't really keep up with that, but that was an upset I don't think anyone saw coming at all.
Yeah.
And then they got in. They played Bosnia Wednesday night. I think that's going to be a very entertaining matchup. They have a good path too, I think, honestly. But I want to also got to get into some of the surprises and disappointments. And they're both competed in the same group. Let's talk about the biggest surprise: Cape Verde, an island nation off the coast of Africa, who went in their first match, drew with Spain, did not let up a single goal. Their goalie became a national hero. Went from 50,000 followers on Instagram to 17 million. I know that's a big point there. Yeah. They also drew with Uruguay, who was a contender from South America. And yeah, they also drew with Saudi Arabia, and then they got into the knockouts. And pretty much they face Argentina here, I think at July 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, July 3rd. The biggest disappointment's also in that group. It's Uruguay. In the Copa America 2 years ago, Uruguay swept their group, beating Panama, who's currently in the World Cup, the United States, and Bolivia. They beat all three. And then they drew with Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia. And they had that loss at the end to Spain that sent them home. And if they would have drew with Spain, they probably would have gotten in over Cape Verde, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And here's the other wild piece that came out from this. According to country, I don't know who did it, but their charter flights home were canceled, and the players had to fly commercial back home.
Wow, that sucks.
Imagine imagine a professional sports team losing out on the final game to make the playoffs, knowing that thinking they had the playoffs clinched, and then the charter flight back to the home arena just ends up getting canceled.
Yeah, that's
rough.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
And then, honestly, let's talk about knockouts rounds. They kind of began. I think the USA is really going to be that biggest team to watch, especially their path is probably one of the more easier ones. I will say that. You're facing Bosnia in the round of 32.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get Belgium and Senegal in the next round, which are two tougher opponents, but I think the U.S. can compete with them. And then either Spain or Portugal in the finals. And what they've done in those two wins, I think, have been really good. And then you also have, and then the other big thing is, they lost to Turkey, but they had the group clinched after their first two games. Should fans really be worried about that loss? No, because again, also the U.S. rested a bunch of starters there. Yeah. And then I also want to get these from both of you. I know you both have not been paying attention, but do you guys have any predictions for who you think is going to be in the World Cup final?
I think I like Argentina. I think Messi has been playing absolutely unreal. This dude's a GOAT for a reason. I don't know if you saw that video where Argentina, I guess they did something that you don't really see in soccer for, I guess, a penalty kick. They had their guys in front of the defenders, I believe. So the goalie couldn't see where the ball was going to be kicked to when it was kicked. And Messi kicked it literally curved around the defenders and went in, and the goalie just stood there he had no idea what to do.
That's crazy.
I think that was dude. He's the go. I think honestly, he's hot take, not hot take. I think he's one of the most accomplished athletes on a sports team of all time. I don't know. Especially if he wins a second World Cup. Oh my gosh, dude.
Be nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Be nuts. I just can't get into soccer. It's so confusing for me. It's hard to watch, but I feel like a lot of people are saying USA is a sleeper in this World Cup, and I'm going to ride with my country, man. I think USA is going to do it. There's too much talk, in my opinion, with USA right now. And, dude, honestly, besides the actual soccer part and the games, I love seeing the videos of all the fans get into it. I love seeing the videos of the opposing fans come to the United States and try USA food. There's a Korean guy trying Texas barbecue I saw. And then the one
Freddie guy.
The one guy went viral on the news. I love seeing that. I love watching those videos. That really stood out to me. So, but yeah, man, I'm excited to see where the World Cup goes and just what the ending's like. So I'm excited.
I wish we could have seen a USA 4th of July match, but from the look of things, we won't. If USA wins on July 1st, they would play July 6th. So
they'd put a 6.
That sucks. Well, there
Yeah,
goes
that
all the
would've been
aura.
a
There goes the
massive
aura.
play.
There goes the aura facing
There goes
England,
the aura.
bro. And
There
Nah,
it
but-
goes. The aura.
Nah, they wouldn't have.
Who's the favorite right now in the World Cup? Would you
I
guys?
honestly think it's either Argentina, France, Portugal, Brazil too. My prediction finals, I think for mine was France and Brazil.
Okay.
Because I think France has been unstoppable the
Yeah,
last
France
two World
is the
Cup.
favorite.
Yeah,
France
yeah.
is a heavy favorite again, and I think Brazil can make
Mhm.
that run this year and get back into the final after a couple disappointing World Cups since like 14, 18, and 22.
Mhm.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
it's France, Argentina, Brazil, and Spain. So I mean, they all
Right.
have pretty big names.
and then one more thing before we can move on.
Yeah.
I know you guys are enjoying this. Countries with the most pressure. We're gonna talk. I want to talk about that real quick.
Mhm.
Just I got three, and then you guys can agree or disagree with me. And I also have some points on that. I think the Netherlands, again, another one of those strong European contenders. They've contended for World Cups before, but they had to go through Morocco in the first round, which made us to the final for the last World Cup. We'll have Canada, which again, Canada, nothing against Canada. I think whoever wins that will breeze through the next into the quarters. And then now that Germany's eliminated, because I wrote this script before the game ended, of course I did.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be France in the quarters, and they got a tough test. Portugal, especially because of the fact of how old of Ronaldo and getting up in his age, and also the question of can he get it done finally. Like they faced Croatia in their first game, which was a runner-up in 2018, and then made it into the Final Four as well in 2022, and then Spain more than likely in the round of 16. Can Ronaldo get back into the finals? And then the final country is England, just because they choke every year.
Yeah.
I think a storybook ending could be Portugal versus Argentina. You got Ronaldo versus Messi. I think that would be
That'd be
wild
awesome.
for people to watch.
That might be one of the most tuned in sports games ever.
If that happens in the finals, that's probably going to be That's probably going to end up being one of the most viewed sports broadcasts in history.
Yeah,
and it's going to top everything. Do you guys boys have any other thoughts before I hand it back on over to you, Zach?
I don't know, man. Go ahead, Brady.
I have one more. I was going to say, have you guys seen that Messi statue in Argentina?
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
I'm not, I don't think.
You have not? Oh my God, it's this massive. It's this massive. Let me look it up real quick and show you this. It's going viral everywhere from like these certain angles.
Oh,
here's like a little clip of. Here's like a little thing of it.
Oh God!
And from the back.
Oh God!
That's a goat.
Oh,
that's a great view right there.
It's got a lot of backlash, but
of course Brady would have that on his phone.
Of course.
But let's get into the next segment. That was a little World Cup talk, and again, like I've said, I just like seeing the videos, man, of all the fans coming into the United States, trying the food, getting it on the news, trending. But we got a new rule in NCAA, and I think it's going to change the game. It's going to help get rid of all this suing and going to court and fighting for eligibility. 5 for 5 passed in the NCAA, and the courts too. Just help to change the game. A little bit about this new rule. So you get 5 years to play 5 years, basically. When you step on campus, that's when your 5 years starts. There's no more medical waivers. There's no more COVID years. There's no more waivers. No more of this nonsense, because there's too much of fighting for eligibility because you couldn't get a waiver. There's too much suing the NCAA, suing the state, and going to court. So the NCAA thought this was the biggest thing. And I think it's going to really help the NCAA, honestly. There's no more red shirts, like I mentioned. There's the only expectations for this is military service, pregnancy, religious missions. That's it. Everything else, though, it's out of the window. Red shirts are done. If you get injured, that doesn't even matter. Like, you still get all the playing time you need. I just like it because there's no more waiver process, and it's not confusing. And I think in like 2 or 3 years, it's really, really, really going to just help the game. But what about you guys? Do you guys like this new rule?
Yeah, I really do a lot because I think it gives a lot of those guys an extra year to play, but also too, again, for a lot of people who get injured constantly, may not be one of those best rules because again, of a lot of those people were able to rack up red shirt after red shirt after red shirt, and we kind of saw, and also too that extra year of COVID eligibility. That's why we saw people like Cam freaking Rising, who was a high school senior in 2018, still playing in 2025 and could have potentially played in 2026 if you think about it. That is a wild statistic, but it is true.
That guy could not give it up, bro.
No, he could not give it up.
That guy could not give it up.
But now with this rule, I mean, there's not only going to be a lot of people who are going to like it, but I think it kind of gives more stability to eligibility in a sense. Kind of, again, just it allows players to play, just get 5 years done. Injury sucks, I know, but again, I think this is probably for the better of the game.
But at the end of the day, like, there's literally just too much going to court and suing.
Oh yeah,
and it's like
there's like the whole Trinidad Chambliss controversy at Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
I think
it's
honestly,
so confusing, like
right, and then them suing over years of eligibility and saying that like D2, D3, junior college shouldn't count. Like it's just be a 5 year straight clock for everyone, and then you got the 5 years. That's what I like.
Bray, what about you, man? What do you like about this new rule?
Yeah, I think you guys honestly hit all the points I was going to really talk about. So, I mean, I do like it. I think it's good. So, I mean, yeah, you guys really hit all my boxes. So,
yeah. Now we're seeing seniors from last college season sue the NCAA because they fall under the rule, but the NCAA said they're not eligible for this rule. And I know there's a couple there's two guys that could be UC Bearcats in basketball if their injunction passes. MJ Collins and Colby King out of Utah State. They're both dogs. So injunction is in Wednesday in the state of Ohio. There's 15 players that sued the NCAA already. Those are two. I know Josh Reed, he played at UC. He's part of that. I know there's a Xavier player who's practicing with the team right now, and he doesn't have eligibility. I forget his name, but I don't know, man. I really like this.
Yeah.
I really like this rule, and I think it's just, again, like it's a step in the right process. I know the NCAA has not been doing the right thing in recent years. I know they've been taking a lot of L's recently, especially with the Sorsby situation, but now they're trying to fix it, and with this passing, I think it's going to change the game for the good, and I think we're trying to get back to that stability, like Vince mentioned, in the NCAA. Yeah. So that's 5 for 5 passing. You guys got anything else on this?
I think we really covered it all, honestly.
All right, we got our biggest talking point of the day: NBA trades, NBA free agency, NBA rumors.
A lot has happened
over in the market. So let me give a little rundown real quick of what has happened. I wanted to mention this guy because I gave him a lot of love on this podcast. Julian Champagnie from the San Antonio Spurs. He signed a 3-year, $45 million contract with the San Antonio Spurs. He stepped up big time for the Spurs in the finals, knocking down a bunch of threes, and he was one of the best players for the Spurs. I wanted to give love to my guy because he was amazing in the finals, in my opinion. You also got the Charlotte Hornets were traded LaMelo Ball and Josh Green to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Naz Reid, a 2033 unprotected first-round pick, 3 first-round pick swaps in 2028, 2029, 2030, and 3 second-round picks in 2029, 2030, and 2033. LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards. Let's discuss that trade a little bit. How do you guys think that's going to work out? You got LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards on the same team. How do you guys think that's going to work?
You know, you got 2 crash outs on the same team now, but I think this is something that the Timberwolves have been looking to do. I believe they wanted another superstar next to Anthony Edwards, and they did that. So you got LaMelo Ball now and Anthony Edwards. I think they have honestly up there with one of the fan favorite backcourts. I mean, I think it's absolutely electric backcourt. You got Anthony Edwards and his rim driving and dunks and all that. LaMelo throwing up lobs. Like, I can't imagine how many lobs we could see LaMelo throw to, Anthony Edwards possibly. And yeah, I really do like this. Could be one of the most entertaining teams this season. And it honestly seems like this entire offseason is going to change. It's going to flip the NBA from what it was last season.
Nuts.
It's already going crazy, and free agency hasn't even begun. It starts tomorrow. So
NBA is going to flip, man.
It's nuts. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on it?
Dude, so before you go, they were trying to come up with nicknames for not Ja, I'm an idiot. Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball. They were calling Ant-Man, and then LaMelo Ball the Wasps. I think that's a fire nickname. Ant-Man the Wasp. Like,
yeah, bro.
No? All right. You know what? All right. Next big trade Vince, you got any thoughts on that?
I think you both covered it, but again, it's true crash shots on a team. I'm interested to see how this ends up.
I'm just interested because they both seem like scorers. I think LaMelo is more of a facilitator and get people involved, but I think at the end of the day, they're both two guys that could go get a bucket, and I'm interested to see how that works. And Naz Reid was a big part of that Timberwolves team, so it's interesting that they traded him. I'm interested to see how that works out.
He was a fan favorite.
Yeah, with him being gone, but yeah, man, that's going to be interesting. And we got another big trade. The Ja Morant era is over.
The Grizzlies
in Memphis. He was traded to the Portland Trail Blazers for Jeremy Grant and Chris Murray. It was a rough patch for Ja Morant in Memphis. A lot of scandals happened. A lot of it was rough. It was rough for him. And I think this is going to be it's going to be a new beginning. I think it's going to be a good beginning for Ja in Portland. What about you guys?
Yeah, I agree kind of what you said there. I mean, this also could be a trade that could potentially get the Trailblazers past the play-in spot and into the playoffs too, or into the play-in. But at the same time too, again, it could be a new beginning because again, he was surrounded by a lot, and boy, do I mean a lot of controversy during his time in Memphis.
I'm gonna be flat out honest. I don't like this deal at all. I understand the Grizzlies have been looking. I think at the end of the season, it was kind of like already kind of said where Ja Morant, we were like kind of sure it was his last season at Memphis, but we weren't entirely sure. But I think if you watch NBA and I'm pretty sure all of us knew that he was most likely going to a team. I did not expect Portland, but I did not expect what Memphis would receive. I think that the Grizzlies got fleeced here, to be honest.
Well, you got to think, though, how many teams really want Ja right now? Ja Morant.
I think a lot. I think he's a great
man.
player. I mean, obviously his controversy off the court, but when he's on the court, when he's playing basketball, he's a great player.
He's one of the best. I'm not questioning that. I just don't know. I'm interested to know how many teams were involved in the trade. Was there a lot? Was it not a lot?
Yeah.
I'm interested to see that part
of it. I think a lot of it also is because over the last 3 seasons, Ja Morant has only played 79 games because of injuries, suspensions. I don't know. I don't know if he really liked it in Memphis, but I just think getting Jeremy Grant and Chris Murray for him I don't like that at all. I don't know what Memphis is trying to do with their basketball team. I obviously think they're trying to rebuild.
I think they were just trying to get Ja out of there, in my opinion. I mean,
but I think there had to be a better deal out there, but it doesn't really matter. They're obviously moving forward to Cameron Boozer, but I'm not a fan of the deal. I think Portland is going to be great, especially if they end up getting Jaylen Brown, which is in talks right now, Damian Lillard, Ja Morant, because they already said they're going to start Damian Lillard and Ja Morant together, so see how that turns out. But
I'm not saying I do dislike the trade too, but I also understand that I don't think teams would be willing to give up a lot for Ja Morant, knowing his history off the court, and like you mentioned, him only playing so many games in the last 3 seasons. But I don't know, man. I do like the fit for Ja Morant though. Go to Portland. Not a lot to do out there in Portland, for just being honest. Gives him go be the guy like you were in Memphis, but you're in Portland now. So, Vince, thoughts on Ja? Or go ahead.
I was gonna say I kind of feel like also with the Minnesota LaMelo deal, I think that like, LaMelo being injured he's had multiple ankle injuries throughout his career, and I think that might be another reason why they moved him. But also, you got to think the Hornets are completely rebuilding too now because they did get rid of Miles Bridges, which I didn't expect. I mean, I kind of expected because he's always been in the talks kind of, but they actually finally moved him. I believe he was the longest active player that has been on the Hornets. Well, like has been on the Hornets for so long, the tenured,
for a while,
however you say it. So he's been.
I think they're moving in the direction of Kobe White just being their guy. Because I think he just got a contract. Kobe White had him.
He was good. He's good, but he's not that star player. He's always been like kind of like backup.
They drafted Christian, though. Yeah, they drafted Christian Anderson in the drafts.
They're building around Brandon Miller and Conca-Nipple. I can tell you that Conca-Nipple is
he's good
stud. He would have won Rookie of the Year if Cooper Flagg didn't. He was unbelievable. So
Christian Anderson, they drafted him. He was out of Texas Tech. He's incredible too. Like that dude is a dog. I'm excited to see where that Hornets team goes. But yeah, man. And then Brady did a little video on Nosebleeds After Hours about Giannis Antetokounmpo being traded. Just to go over it again, the Milwaukee Bucks traded franchise icon Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis to the Miami Heat in exchange for Tyler Hero, Calera War, I think that's the name, and Jamie
Calera,
Yeah, Junior, and then another guy in a massive draft package. I don't know, Vince, what's your thoughts on Giannis going to Miami?
Not really a thought, but I just love how we spent the entire podcast last week thinking that he was a for sure trade to Boston.
Yeah.
And then about 6 to 12 hours after we're done and this is uploaded, it comes out he's getting traded to Miami. It happens. But honestly, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this trade because honestly, when I look at this Heat team, it's Giannis and Bam, and that's it. Like, there really does not seem to be much else more about this Miami trade, and it's also sounded like Miami just gave away all their like capital to Milwaukee. I honestly think Milwaukee won this deal. If I'm being completely honest, I think they won this deal.
I do see it. Miami also signed Andrew Wiggins to a contract extension today. He's also on that team. So, but still, like, I don't know where Miami goes in this situation. Honestly, like, I just don't know the direction. I don't know how well Giannis and Bam are going to play together. I think that's a weird dynamic.
We need to think about,
in my opinion. But Brady, do you want to give me more thoughts on Giannis? I know you did a whole video on him, but
I did a whole video, so if you guys want to check that out, it's After Hours Giannis deal. You'll see it. It's a shorter one. But yeah, man, I honestly do think the Bucks got a good deal out of this. They got a crap ton in return, and obviously the Heat only gave up, or the Bucks only gave up Giannis and Bobby Portis.
Yeah.
With the Heat pretty much gutting their entire roster just to get, Giannis. I think in the long run, this is going to be pretty good for the Bucks. So see what they can do in the future. It's probably going to be a little shaky first year. They're really like a whole new team pretty much at this point. But the Heat, I mean, getting Giannis, he wanted out of there. So it's going to be win now for the Heat. See if the Heat can make that run in the playoffs. So,
I think right now, currently, I think the Heat will have the most, more success than the Bucks. But I think in 2 or 3 years, with the draft the Bucks just had and all the draft capital they just got, I think they could be a dangerous team. And I think we're going to look back and say, man, they smoked the Heat in this trade. But I want to get into probably the biggest news of the day because we're seeing a super team assemble right in front of our eyes. So this tweet came out from Shams today on Twitter. It says, and I quote, Golden State Warriors forward Draymond Green is declining his $27.7 million player option to become a free agent. Source tells ESPN this move gives the Warriors flexibility to pursue LeBron James in free agency and Anthony Davis via trade to form a big four. What were yours guys' initial reaction when that tweet came out and all these rumors started flying around?
Well, as of now, I'm unsure if that's going to work out because they did just re-sign Kristaps Porzingis an hour ago to a 2-year, $40 million extension. So, I mean, I think they could still get LeBron if they want to, and obviously
AD's
LeBron's
out of the picture.
publicly stated how his favorite, the player he'd want to play with the most is Stephen Curry.
Curry, yeah.
And he is favored to go to the Warriors as of now. There's been no talks with the Lakers and LeBron, so don't really see him going back there. I really see him going. He's either going to Cleveland or the Warriors, I feel like, as of now, from what we've heard. I don't want to have another Giannis situation where I said he's going to the Celtics on the information I was given.
Brady's banned to put guarantees on trades.
Now. Yeah, Brady's putting guarantees on players. He's done. Get him out of here. Get him out.
Well, all over, we were told that night that he was going to Boston.
We were,
so that's not really my fault.
We were being led that entire day. He's going to go to Boston, and then out of the freaking blue the next morning,
Miami.
He's going to Miami.
It was like a few hours later, I'm pretty sure.
Dude, so me and Vince were up. Brady was sleeping, and Brady was the biggest guy.
I was tired, dude.
Brady was the biggest guy to follow this trade. And I'm like, dude, Giannis just got traded. And Vince was up.
We were like, of course, Brady's in bed when this happens.
Brady, of course, is sleeping when this happens. But going back to LeBron going to the Warriors, I don't care what people say. I don't care about the age with Curry and LeBron. I don't care. Those are the two greatest players, one of the two greatest players to touch a basketball. If this happens, they're winning a championship. I really don't care what people think. That might be a hot take currently. But seeing Curry and LeBron on the same court, wearing the same jersey, you know how crazy that would be?
That would be very crazy.
Like, look back a couple of years ago and just the whole Cavs Warriors thing, and it was LeBron, Curry. Yeah. And then in a couple of years later, they might be on the same team together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I honestly, bro, go ahead.
10 years ago, we had the 3-1 comeback. And now, if you were to tell yourself in 2016, after LeBron and the Cavs made that 3-1 comeback to win the finals, that we could be seeing LeBron in a Golden State uniform, how would you feel? I don't know how I would.
I'd be
upset.
Know how
I feel. Yeah. Everyone would call him ringed. Everyone would be like, his reaction would be the same as people's reaction to KD going to the Warriors, in my opinion.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, dude, a
lot of people would be like, how is he still in the league? I feel like that's one thing.
More than likely, yeah. Oh, obviously.
Dude, but to go off on that, like, I think LeBron still has a lot left in the tank. I don't think about like how much better Curry can make LeBron, and how much better
but
can make Curry.
I think this is his last year. I don't see him playing.
What did he have? After. I think this could be his last year, but
he has nothing else to prove.
I don't know, man. I just think
it's family time, bro. He started golfing. It's cooked.
Okay, but everyone golfs.
No,
like,
come on, dude. They're retired people and starting to get.
Dude, Curry's been golfing for like years now.
Yeah, but you know it's getting real when LeBron starts to get into golf.
Okay, LeBron averaged 20 per.
Real when LeBron starts to get.
LeBron averaged 20 points per game last season, 6 rebounds. I mean, you're not telling me he has a lot left in the tank?
I don't know.
If he could average
season, so I mean,
if he could, obviously it's not going to be. His
you can tell he's regressing a lot.
I think
if he could give you 20 every night, in a Warriors jersey with Curry over there, they can win the championship.
I think I could see him potentially having 1 to 2 more years, like with what you were saying, with a lot left in the tank. I don't think he's going to go in for another 5 years. I'd say maybe 1 or 2 more years. Try to ring chase with the Warriors. But if he does retire, I don't think a lot of people are going to blame him for that either. I see where both of you are coming with this argument.
I don't know, man. And I also I'm hesitant to believe in this Warriors thing. I know everyone's tweeting about it. Everyone's talking
agree,
about it.
Yeah.
I think Cleveland is his final destination. It's too perfect to be true. I mean,
the thing is with that though, they want to give up. The Warriors want Jared Allen in return, or the Lakers want Jared Allen in return, and I don't know if I would do that, to be honest. I don't know. Jared Allen has been such a solid piece for this Cavs team, and to leave us without a center to get a 1-year LeBron, I don't like it.
You're gonna like it
I
when
love
it
LeBron.
happens. Yeah, you
I
would like it.
will until he retires and I realize, oh, we just gave away Jared Allen.
But what if he gets you a ring?
If we can get a ring by getting LeBron, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you
But
don't care.
I don't know if just getting LeBron is going to get us a ring, to be completely honest with you.
I don't know, man. I'm interested to see
We're
where
in a
LeBron goes.
new generation of NBA.
Like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. LeBron can really
He doesn't know, so Kawhi Leonard.
Right, airball. Yeah, Kawhi Leonard possibly going back to the 6 in Toronto. Reunion. I would love that, honestly. I would really like Kawhi back to Toronto.
Shocking.
The vibes would be high. And Kawhi's career has died in LA, in my opinion.
What did you say?
Really, his career. Kawhi's career has died in LA, in my opinion.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Kawhi's career has died in LA, in my opinion. He needs to come back. I think Toronto could be that comeback if he goes to Toronto. And I think Toronto could be one of the favorite teams.
Yeah, they had a pretty decent showing in the playoffs. Obviously, they lost, but I mean, still a very solid team going as far as they did with the Cavs in the playoffs.
Yeah, but that's it, man. We got a lot of NBA talk today. A lot of NBA news. LeBron, I'm interested to see where that goes.
I'm interested to see how much different the league is going to look by the next podcast because of free agency and trades. So
the whole league is going to be flipped next episode, in my opinion. Like, we're going to see a lot of stuff, but that's a little NBA talk, and let's get into the last segment. It's back. We didn't do it last week. Hot takes of the week. Whoever wants to start, go ahead.
I guess I can start. So I'm going the NFL route here, and I'm going to go recent. I know a lot of the times where we do our hot takes is a little later, but my hot take is I think Harbaugh will have a bad first year in New York. I don't know if that's a hot take. I don't know how you guys would feel about that. I know you guys watch NFL a lot, so I'm going to kind of get into it. I feel like everybody assumes Harbaugh to like automatically fix the Giants because of his track record, but I think the roster still has a lot of major questions in it. I think the defense should be solid to keep them competitive, but I think the season really comes down to Jackson Dart and how he's going to end up playing. And I don't know if I'm completely sold yet on Harbaugh or on Jackson Dart taking the leap that everybody expects him to, I feel like. And I also with Harbaugh, he brought in experienced offensive coaches and a new system, but I don't think that guarantees quarterback development overnight. And if Dart struggles with consistency, the Giants I could see him going around like 7-10 or 8-9 and miss the playoffs despite all like the hype I feel like they may get in this offseason. So
I don't think they're going to be bad. I think they're going to be.
I don't think they are either.
I think they're going to be mid at best. I think Jackson Dart is good. I think he's going to have a good second year. I think it depends on Malik Neighbors and like his health. Because I know, like last thing I've heard, he's not
healthy. I think they could have an elite year.
I probably should have.
I don't see them winning above like 8 or 9 games.
Yeah, I put them at 7 or 8 games,
especially with Dexter Lawrence. I mean, a big piece on their defense. It's like, I don't know. I also think they could be like a sneaky team.
Yeah.
I think they could be a sneaky team and do like a Bengals run, like the Bengals did in 2021.
Oh yeah,
that's crazy. I know they had it.
I don't. Yeah, no.
It depends on their draft picks. Also, I mean, they drafted. God, who did they draft in that? It was the Ohio State guy, Arvell Reese. They drafted.
Yeah, Reese.
They also who did the Giants
I'm still
draft?
salty. They missed out on Caleb Downs, man.
Yeah, they could have taken.
They could have had Caleb.
They took the tackle out of Miami.
That was also a good pick too.
I don't know. I could see them either being bad or see them making a sneaky Bengals running, going to the playoffs and winning a couple games. So I'm going to disagree for now.
Yeah,
I got to see how it plays out.
It's a hot take, man. So
Vince, what about you, man? What's your hot take?
All right. First of all, apologies for the technical difficulties. I missed like the last 2 minutes of the NBA segment because anyways, besides that point. So I'm going to stick on my topic of World Cup because I was kind of editing this. I think the U.S. national team goes on an Indiana type run and makes it to, I think they can potentially make it to the semifinal. I'm not saying they're winning. Again, the competition's elite. I'm saying the U.S. can make it to the semifinal. You're on home soil. You're playing your games on home soil. So every game, you're going to have that crowd behind you. You face Bosnia in round 1, Belgium or Senegal. Those are beatable. And then Spain or Portugal. The U.S. has beaten Spain before when they were up. And then they can make it to the semifinals pretty easily. And again, from there, I just don't really know. I'm not going to say they're going to win the World Cup. I would love that as an American. But I think it's very possible the U.S. makes a run to the semifinals.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. I know it's my
That's all
country,
you guys, because I don't know.
they
I don't know
are.
nothing about this.
You got to think though, and I don't know if you've really looked into this, but Team USA is missing arguably their best player with Christian Pulisic. He had a big calf issue during the group stage. He's close to 100% and expected to be available, but he's you don't know how he's going to come back after that. And then there's also been a couple other players like Richards and Trusty. They've both are a little questionable, but I don't know. I just feel like, especially with the competition, I don't see it, but I would hope so. And we've already seen this team lose once in this World Cup. So
Granted, we did lose once, but we had already coached the group. A lot of players were out because they weren't going to start a bunch of players and get a bunch of people hurt in a meaningless game against Turkey that really did not matter for our standing or their standing. They were eliminated.
Thanks.
We had our spot clinched. Yes, the Turkey loss could be concerning in some views, but I think with us clinching the group, I don't really see a lot of concern with that.
Thanks. I can't really say anything because I don't
Just
follow
say
I already put my input. So
yeah.
Zach, just say yes to be patriotic.
USA is going to win the World Cup. I don't care.
Yes, sir.
So before I get into my hot take, a little Cincinnati Reds update. They're playing in Milwaukee. They're up 1-0 in the bottom of the 4th, but Dan Myers has just been carted off. He just got hurt in the outfield trying to make a play, and he's being carted off currently. So, listen, the Reds are going to be the Reds. They're having a terrible year, in my opinion. This is not the expectation fans wanted out of the Cincinnati Reds, and they're blowing it. They're blowing it. But staying on the Cincinnati side of things, let me get into my hot take. And this is just the fan in me. But the Cincinnati Bengals, they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. I'm going to tell you why. Brady's laughing. I'm going to tell you why. One, you get Joe Burrow healthy and back. He's healthy. He had a great OTAs. He's coming in a training camp as strong as he ever been. That's his words. In a presser, he is saying that he's saying the same stuff that he said about 2019 LSU before the championship. Joe Burrow is literally one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't think we can question that. Besides, take the health aspect away out of that, Joe Burrow is a top 2, top 3 quarterback. And you got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, the best wide receiver duo in the game. I think Jamar Chase, when it's all said and done and he's done playing NFL, he's going to be the best wide receiver all time. Better than Moss, better than everyone, in my opinion. But the biggest question for the Bengals this offseason was defense. It was defense. They went out and they did stuff that they've never done before. They signed Brian Cook, Boye Mafe. They went and traded their 10th overall pick for Dexter Lawrence, something they've never done before. They also signed Jonathan Allen, who has been a star in this league, a glue guy on the defensive front. In the front office, they're pushing to win now. This is the most aggressive this front office, Mike Brown and Katie, have ever been. And a lot of people, in my opinion, question Zach Taylor, and I totally get it. It's reasonable. I know he has some questionable play calls, questionable decisions, but at the end of the day, this offense is not what it is without Zach Taylor. I know you got Joe Burrow. I know you got Jamar Chase. I know you got T. Higgins, but there has to be a game plan for that. Who creates the game plan? Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor does. And I think the schedule is reasonable. The AFC does not scare me. I know I mentioned this on the podcast before. The Ravens don't scare me. The Patriots don't scare me. The Chiefs don't scare me. The Bills don't scare me. I think if there's a year for the Bengals to go win the Super Bowl, it's this year and it's right now. So that's my hot take. What do you guys think?
I know Brady has a lot to say about this, so I'm gonna start kind of just to kind of
buddy.
Oh well, yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. But
I'm
first
ready
of
for this
all,
one.
I agree and I also disagree. Again, the biased Bengals fan in me says, yeah, we're gonna win the freaking Super Bowl, man. We're gonna face the Rams in LA again. It's gonna be deja vu from Super Bowl 56, man, and we're gonna get back. But there's also the realistic fan in me. This is probably the most, again, I agree with you, Zach. This is the most aggressive moves we made ever in the Bengals history. The Bengals front office, not known for being aggressive at all. I think they're in win now mode, but I also could see, I mean, again, I would like to see a Super Bowl. I think they can make the playoffs and make a run. I don't know. I have mixed opinions.
Before Brady goes into what he needs to say, I want to ask you one point I forgot to say. Everyone hates on this offensive line. They were top 10 last year. So why are we hating? They were a top 10 O line last season. Second, I want to ask you, when you're looking at all the position groups, right? You got wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, the defense. What position group worries you the most, Vince?
Yeah, I mean that O line. I think a lot of people also just gave the O line crap because of Burrow getting hurt again.
Mm-hmm.
And I see it, but again, they were pretty good last year. The position group that scares me the most. Probably, honestly, I'm gonna say it. Running back. I really like Chase Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't feel like we have the depth at running back. I like Brown. I like P. Ryan. I liked getting P. Ryan back last year, but I think we just don't have a lot of that like good depth in the running back room.
Mm-hmm.
And I think running back's a position that just concerns me a little bit.
I would just say I think P. Ryan's serviceable enough, and I think Taj Brooks can make a big jump.
Oh, yeah.
But when I'm looking at the groups, right, I'm only concerned about the linebackers, honestly.
Oh, 100%.
Two rookie linebackers are making their sophomore year jump. Those are the only two guys I'm worried about, but they get better because they added Dexter Lawrence and Jonathan Allen to the defense. So I don't know, but what's your thoughts, man? What are we thinking here?
I don't got much to say. I just feel like it's ridiculous, to be honest.
Why
is it ridiculous?
That's not
ridiculous.
I'm a Ravens fan. It's just because I don't see it. I don't see it at all.
But
Why?
I don't know. You said nobody in the AFC fears you. Or you don't fear anybody. I think the AFC is, to be honest, low-key a gauntlet. I think you do have the Ravens. You have the Chiefs, Bills, Texans. I would even put maybe even the Chargers up there. I think there's a lot of good teams. There's a lot of good teams.
Man,
and even although the defense has made changes and it's improved, they also have to prove that they are fixed. And I think last season they struggled badly. And if the new pieces don't come together, there's going to be a lot of trouble stopping some of the elite offenses in the AFC. And then also, Joe Burrow, you never know if he's going to stay healthy because that's always a question every season. Is Joe Burrow going to stay healthy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think offensive line, too, they have to be consistent. If Joe Burrow is going to be under constant pressure, it's going to be much harder to beat teams.
Bro,
so
I'm telling the offensive line was top 10. So I get it. Burrow got hurt because of the offensive line. But Burrow, if we're going to be honest, bro, Burrow deserves criticism. He made the wrong read in that play when he got hurt. If you watch it, Jamar Chase he should have just thrown it. He hold on to the ball too long. And I also think they got rid of the pieces that were hurting him on defense. Dude, Geno Stone is the worst safety in the NFL.
They got rid of Stone.
He could not
got rid
cover
of all the pieces that were bringing down this defense. And again, a lot of people have said too, looking at the past seasons, 22, 23, 24, the 2 9-8 seasons in this previous season, if we had a defense that was just mid, just mid, we could have won 2 or 3 more games and would have been in the playoffs and made a run.
And
with the better
yeah.
And also, too, last season, 25, we had a new coordinator, Al Golden. Obviously, he wasn't going to be the changes to improve into this defense. You know this as much as I do, Brady, because we're both Notre Dame fans, about those Al Golden defenses. I think if he does what he does, he has a much improved defense now. I think the Bengals could have a very decent defense. I'm not saying they're going to be the best, but I think if Al Golden gets his system more instilled with this defense, they could be a pretty solid unit.
Bro, the defense just has to be top 15.
Right, exactly.
The year they went to the Super Bowl, they were like, I think they were top 20, but everybody made it out to be that they were this great defense, and they were.
Oh yeah,
they were a great defense because they played to an elite level in the playoffs.
Yeah, they
you know
played.
You know who was a big part of that defense? DJ Reader.
Oh,
DJ Reader was the biggest part of that Super Bowl run. Obviously, he's gone. I get it, but you just got Dexter Lawrence, probably one of the best defensive tackles. So I don't know, man. I think this Bengals team, if it's the year, this is the year to go win it and go bring that Super Bowl back to Cincinnati, because I'm hungry for a championship, man. I gotta live to see one of my teams win a championship, and I think the Bengals probably have the best odds out of all my teams. So, anything else, guys?
I think that covers it.
Got nothing.
So that is episode 7 of the Nosebleeds Sports Podcast. We got a lot to talk about, man. A lot of NBA rumors happening, and next episode, next Monday, man, we might see a whole completely different NBA. Yeah. I know NFL training camp is ramping up, so I'm excited. But that was episode 7. Please go follow us on all our socials, subscribe to the YouTube, turn on post notifications. And that is it from the Nosebleeds Sports Studios. I am Zach. That's Brady. That's Vince. That's episode 7. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.